Once upon a time in the bustling city of New York, there lived a homeless cat named Oscar. Oscar was a happy-go-lucky feline who always had a smile on his face, even though he didn't have a permanent home to call his own. Despite his lack of a proper shelter, Oscar found joy in the simple things, like chasing after pigeons and napping in the sun. Although he didn't have a lot of material possessions, Oscar had an abundance of friends in the neighborhood. He was always ready to lend a paw to anyone in need, whether it was helping to catch a pesky mouse or comforting a fellow stray. His charismatic personality made him well loved amongst the cats and dogs in the area. However, Oscar had a bit of a knack for getting himself into trouble. He had a tendency to wander too far from home and end up lost in unfamiliar alleys. But no matter how difficult the situation, Oscar remained optimistic and kept a smile on his face. One day, Oscar's adventurous spirit got the best of him. He followed the enticing smell of freshly baked bread to a nearby bakery and snapped in through an open window. As he was devouring a delicious croissant, the baker caught him red-pawed, but instead of scolding the mischievous cat, the baker was charmed by Oscar's cheerful disposition. He offered Oscar a home in the bakery, where he could live in comfort and enjoy all the pastries he could eat. Oscar eagerly accepted the offer and settled into his new home, still wearing his trademark smile. From that day forward, Oscar lived a life of luxury. He spent his days lounging on the bakery's warm bread racks and sampling the sweet treats that were always within reach. But despite his newfound comfort, Oscar never forgot his humble beginnings on the streets of New York. He continued to visit his old friends in the neighborhood, sharing his good fortune with them and bringing joy wherever he went. And even though he was no longer a homeless cat, Oscar still wore his big smile, a constant reminder that happiness can be found in the most unexpected places. As time went on, the bakery became a popular spot for animal lovers and tourists alike. People came from far and wide to visit Oscar, the happy homeless cat-turned-bakery mascot. They were charmed by his friendly demeanor and the way he would greet them with a soft meow and a gentle head bump. The bakery owners recognized Oscar's popularity and decided to create a line of cat-themed pastries in his honor. They called them Oscar's treats, and they quickly became the talk of the town. Soon, people were lining up outside the bakery, eager to try the famous cat's favorite treats. Oscar loved the attention and the delicious treats, but he never let his newfound fame go to his head. He remained the same cheerful, laid-back cat he had always been, bringing joy to everyone he met. And although he no longer had to scavenge for food on the streets, Oscar never forgot his past struggles, and he was always eager to help out other homeless animals whenever he could. As the years went by, Oscar grew old and grey, but he never lost his big smile or his love for life. He continued to live at the bakery until his last days, surrounded by the people who had come to love him. When he passed away, the bakery owners erected a statue in his honor, a reminder of the happy homeless cat who had captured the hearts of so many. And even now, many years later, people still flock to the bakery to try Oscar's treats and pay their respects to the cat, who had brought so much joy into their lives. For although he may have started out as a homeless cat, Oscar's legacy lives on as a symbol of hope, resilience, and the power of a big smile. The statue of Oscar became a landmark in the city, and people from all over the world came to see it. They took pictures with the statue and shared them on social media, spreading Oscar's story even further. The bakery owners were amazed by the impact that Oscar had made, and they decided to use his story to help other homeless animals in the city. They started a program where a portion of the profits from Oscar's treats would be donated to local animal shelters and rescue organizations. The program was a huge success, and it helped to provide food, shelter, and medical care to countless homeless animals in need. And even though Oscar was no longer alive, his legacy continued to live on through the good work being done in his name. Years went by, and the bakery owners eventually retired, passing the business down to their children. But even with new owners, Oscar's treats remained a popular menu item, and the donations to local animal shelters continued. And even though Oscar was long gone, his spirit still lived on in the bakery, in the statue that bore his likeness, and in the memories of all those who had been touched by his story. For Oscar was more than just a happy homeless cat. He was a symbol of hope, a reminder that even in the darkest of times, a little bit of joy and kindness can go a long way. And his story proved that sometimes the most unlikely heroes can make the biggest impact of all.